I'm not a trained scientist, but I do work here at the Science Center of Iowa. I'm the marketing manager, but I started here in summer camps, and then I went to the live science programs and presented there for several years. I also just really love space, as you can tell by my Mars skirt. So that's what we're going to present on today. We're going to be talking about space, because space is pretty amazing and it's pretty huge. We're talking about space out there, outer space. Now, we're going to talk about space in a few different ways. But I'm going to warn you that by the end of this presentation, you might feel kind of small. So we're going to talk about space in relation to the Earth and how big the Earth is. We'll talk about space in relation to the solar system. We'll talk about space in relation to our galaxy, and then space in relation to our universe. Okay, so hold on, buckle your seatbelt. We're going to get through this together. What qualifies me to talk about this? Well, like I said, I work here at the Science Center of Iowa. I consider myself a space nerd. And I also have this badge that says I'm a NASA Solar System Ambassador. It was a volunteer thing that I had to apply for, and I was selected last year. So I have been receiving training about NASA missions going on, and it gives me a little bit of a qualification, I guess. So let's start with the Earth. The Earth is pretty big, right? In relation to us as human beings, the Earth is pretty huge. It's 25,000 miles in diameter. There are mountains that are miles high. There are oceans that are miles deep. And there are billions and billions of people who live on our planet. We can all agree that the Earth is pretty enormous. When sometimes humans leave the Earth, we go to a place called low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit is where the International Space Station is. If you get in a space shuttle, which doesn't exist anymore, it takes about 8 minutes to get there from Earth. This is where the International Space Station, I said, is. It's also where a lot of other things are. All of those little dots represent satellites or debris. There are thousands of pieces of satellite debris in low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit, though, is not that far away from Earth. That little red dot here, that's Earth. The little red circle is low Earth orbit. The moon is all the way over here. So we haven't gone very far when we're talking about low Earth orbit. The moon, though, is the only other place in the whole universe that human beings have traveled physically. And it's pretty far away. One of the common misconceptions that I like to tell people is if the Earth was the size of a basketball and the moon were the size of a tennis ball, how far apart do you think they would be? The correct answer is 24 feet. It's pretty far away. So now let's take another step back and talk about the solar system and the scale of our solar system. This is not to scale. The planets are much more spread out than this. But our solar system has the planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And there are current missions to most all of those planets. I really like NASA missions, and I get really excited about them. One of my favorite missions was last year when NASA sent a rover to Mars. Curiosity went to Mars, and this was me at 1 a.m. live tweeting with the rest of the world the entry, descent, and landing of the rover. This was the best 8 minutes of my life. In these, actually 7 minutes, it went from rocketing through the solar system to having a parachute to this sky crane maneuver where it literally hovered over the surface of Mars and was lowered down and rested gently. It was amazing. And I loved that other people got excited about space. But my favorite thing to talk about in all of our solar system is Voyager. The Voyager missions were launched from Earth in 1977 by this group of men. No women here, which is kind of a problem. Voyager has been traveling since 1977. It's been traveling away from Earth. In 1989, it passed Pluto. So 12 years after it launched, it passed Pluto. And it's been going ever since. Just in the last year, it went out of our heliosphere, which is this bubble of space that is affected by our sun's gravity. So it's gone out. And I get really excited sometimes, and I draw this diagram on the back of Home Depot receipts. It blows my mind to think about. You know, it's traveling. Our solar system is spinning, but then our solar system is spinning throughout our galaxy. Okay, so if Voyager could keep going, which we don't really know how long it's going to keep going, but let's just say it keeps going. In 2,000 years, it will reach the Oort cloud, which is an area of asteroids and meteorites surrounding our sun. Our nearest star is over here, Proxima Centauri. It's over 4 light years away. So let's pause and talk about a light year. What's a light year? A light year is how the distance that light can travel in a year, and these numbers are so big that I had to write them down. Light can travel at 161 million miles per hour, so that means in 1 year, light travels 6 trillion miles. And like I said, our nearest star is 4.2 light years away. So the scale of our galaxy is enormous. This is the Milky Way. Some of you probably recognize that. And I love looking at the Milky Way, but most people probably don't know what they're looking at when they see this in the sky. What you're actually looking at, that stripe that you see, is our galaxy. You're looking through the most dense part of the disk that is our galaxy. We're a spiral galaxy. If you think of it like a frisbee, we're actually here. And when you look up or down, you're looking through the thin part of the plastic. But if you look at that stripe in the sky, you're looking through the dense part. And that's what you're seeing in the sky. So this is intentionally blank because what the next picture you're going to see is the most mind-blowing. The Hubble Ultra Deep Space Field trained their telescope on the darkest part of the sky for about 30 days. They just put it there to see what they would find. This is what they found. Everything you see here is a galaxy. Not just a star, not just a planet. Every single one of these is galaxies. There are 3,000 galaxies in this one picture. And the light that you see is coming from 13 billion light years away. That means that light has been traveling for 13 billion years to get to us. Yeah, here we are. This is our planet. This is Earth. Everyone you've ever known, everyone you've ever met, everyone who's ever existed lives here. And we're making a really big difference here.